Hey gang, who's there? Check in the chat. Roll call. If you're watching, say hello in the chat, and we're about to go live. Go. Mia, they can hear you. Hello.
Me or not? Should I sing something? Should I bring a casserole?
Yes.
Live from Austin, Texas, it's the internet's favorite advice show.
Answering for a friend.
Now, here's your hosts, Clint Baker and Mia Harms.
Hey! Mia!
Hi!
Mia, you're back! And you guys are back watching Answering for a Friend, the internet's craziest advice show.
I am back, and I had a birthday last Friday.
Woohoo! Happy birthday!
Thank you. Would you like to cheers me?
Yes, everybody at home, if you're having a beverage, let's all together cheers Mia.
To my birthday. What are you?
On three, let's cheers. 1, 2, 3. Oh, wow.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking, it appears that I'm drinking an iced coffee, but there might be whiskey in there.
Ooh.
There might be, it's not even coffee.
I'm drinking a mule from Russia, from Moscow.
Russian Moscow mule.
It's a drug carrying mule. Just kidding. No, I am drinking a Moscow Mule. It's pretty good, actually. I'm excited for our first slightly boozy show.
Yeah, is it a canned mule?
Oh, you called me out.
Busted. Of course not. Who would drink a canned Moscow mule?
Can I tell you why I'm drinking a canned
You can tell
Moscow
me.
Mule?
Tell everybody why.
Well, because I had a birthday last Friday and we did a drive-in movie. So I had purchased a bunch of pre-made cocktails in a can. And I went and asked the guy that worked there, I was like, are there any good Moscow mules in the can? And he was so rude to me. Like, how could you possibly ask that question? And I was like, well, I was trying to explain, like justify it a little bit. Like, we're having a drive-in movie night, and I don't want to mix cocktails.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. That's like crossing the streams in Ghostbusters. You can't be drinking that.
I will say though that it's not that good. None of the cocktails in a can I purchased I liked, and so I won't be purchasing them again. But they are boozy.
Well, boozy's good. Boozy's good, and
Yeah.
you got to do a little celebrating, on your birthday. So I'm glad you
Yeah.
did. I'm glad you got fun. I'm glad you got fun.
I'm glad you got fun.
I'm glad you had fun on your birthday.
I did have fun.
Good. 'Cause
Yeah.
too many people are getting used to, like, well, can't really do much. We're just gonna watch a Good Place reruns, and for my birthday, I'm like, bullshit. You need to you got to rage on your birthday.
Is that an accurate account of someone's birthday?
I mean, I just hear things like that. That was a completely
I'm just gonna stay home and watch the Good Place rerun. What?
That's just a thing that just came off of
It's
my
a
head.
good show. I'm not knocking the show, but that's a weird thing to do on your birthday. Well, listen, we had a whole plan, and even though we were as safe as possible, we still had some shit go down, and so I've been home for since Saturday night.
Yeah, staying home and watching a Good Place, that's totes sketch. You want your birthday to be fire. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're all dolled up, your eyebrows are on fleek. You just,
You're bringing back terms from like our first episode.
Am I making it Akko?
Is that a new one?
Yes, I just heard that. That's why I brought it up.
Ew.
I heard this girl tell her dad, she's like, She's like, Dad, drop it. You're making it totally Akko. And I was like, whoa, is that real? Like, did you just make that up, or do your friends say that? She's
I'm done. I'm done.
She just turned 21, so just to give her an idea. But I was like,
Ew.
Akko, I can't wait. I even recorded it in my phone. I was like, I have to give Mia an ice cream headache. Yeah, I gotta say.
Oh, that kills me. My son was like dabbing forever, and someone would like adults would be like, "How are you doing?" And he would dab, and I would be like, "You cannot answer an adult asking you how you're doing with a dab. Like you can dab after you answer, but that can't be your answer." He's
Yeet.
gonna be saying things like Akko.
You know what yeet is?
I know what yeet is, and so I
Yeeting.
do use yeet with
That's
him.
That's another one. Like my friend says that all. She's like, yeah, and she's totally yeeted the blah blah blah. And I'm like, you keep saying yeet all the time. And one day I was like, hey, can you tell me what this yeet is?
How often do things actually get yeeted, though? Is the thing.
I mean,
it's like people use the word more than things are getting yeeted.
In my friend Christy's life, a lot of things get yeeted because she says
at her face.
Are
people throwing things at her?
One thing.
Or is she the one getting yeeted?
One thing is like she was telling a story about fishing where somebody had gone fishing, but it was like they were releasing the fish, and instead of gently putting the fish back in, they totes yeeted the fish, and it was just like, hey, and it was a funny story. But
totes yeeted the fish, and it was Akko.
It was totally Akko after that. Yeah.
I'm done with humanity. Welcome to
Akko. We've reached a new low when we talk about Akko. Hey, you want to do a YouTube show? We could do a YouTube show, or we can hang out. Let's
just kick it.
Just keep kicking it.
We can do a YouTube show. I think you'll have some good questions.
Kick it. Do people still say kick it?
I still say kick it, and I have a funny gesture of what I think kick it looks like, but you have to be in person for me to do it, but I'll do it someday.
Is it like this?
No, it's not with your arms. It's like it's with timing and your legs and about how they go up onto the coffee table.
For some reason, I'm seeing like boots and square dancing.
No, you're
moves.
sitting
like,
on a couch, and like kicking it is like putting your feet up, but it's a very specific. I've been playing a lot of Fortnite, so get off my back, please.
Have you been playing for 2 weeks?
I have been playing for 3 days, 2 days, 2.5 days.
That was was that bad timing in that joke? No, it's 14 days. Okay. That was a Fortnite joke.
I don't have to be quarantined for 14 days because I'm negative on my tests, but I have been playing Fortnite, yes. Do you play Fortnite?
Did you get my joke? Fortnite is 14 days. It's a measurement of time. A fortnight is old.
Oh, you know what? Because Fortnite is used so much now because of the game, I didn't even understand that maybe I was playing it for a fortnight. That is so funny to the people that are quarantined for 14 days and playing Fortnite.
Is
it 14 days? Is that how long a fortnight is? I always thought it was 4.
No, it's 14 days. It's 2 weeks.
Dang.
What's even funnier, I said, I was double checking because I knew it was, but I was like, hey, Siri, I don't want to say this too loud. How long is a fortnight? And she just said, Fortnite is a popular game that has been played at blah, blah, blah. And I was like, never mind. All right,
so how often, now that has to relate to the game in some way that I'm not privy to that info yet because I'm still learning.
Yeah.
That must be like maybe a new season is every 2 weeks, or maybe
I don't know.
I don't know. Something. If there's 9 people in the chat, can you answer a Fortnite question for me? Why is the game itself called Fortnite?
Is it because if you don't finish it in 2 weeks, you lose? Is that it?
Oh no, you lose every time when you're playing with me because I'm really bad.
Let's see. I've got a Natalie. Is it the Litz or Thielitz?
Natalie
Thielitz says,
Hmm.
laugh my ass off. There you go.
To what? She knows the answer. She knows the answer to this Fortnite. Hi, Natchet.
What's up? What's up, gang? Man, it's good to have.
I think we have a record number of people watching.
I know we got 10 viewers.
We
Woo!
have 10
All right,
viewers.
okay, where's Kim and Punk Rock Phil? They're the diehards. Are you guys in the chat too? We're missing you.
Hey, if you
She said that to the dab story, by the way.
send your friends links to watch this right now. Let's try to double our viewers for the night.
Hey, Haley's in there. Awesome.
Hi, Haley.
I just put this on both of my social medias.
I have zero clue why Fortnite is called Fortnite. Thank you, Natalie. Can you Google it for me, please? I'm a
Yeah.
little busy right now. Could you throw me a bone?
Throw me
I'm
a
in the middle of a show.
Throw me a freaking bone here. Is that Age Me doing that reference?
Yeah, nobody would get that reference other than us old.
I didn't mean
oldies.
to make it totes Akko in here, you know?
You're making it Akko. Can we answer a question? Or
Yeah, let's get
11.
to. We got
We have
11
11
viewers in the
viewers.
chat. Guys, before we go completely viral, I just want to say like, share, subscribe, click that notification. If this is your first time you wandered onto this weird show, you're like, what the hell is this? Subscribe and we'll let you know the next time we're on here talking about rando stuff. Yes, that is right. This is episode 25.
I cannot believe that.
Yeah, in terms, what would that be? It's our I know what sesquicentennial is, but I don't know what 25 would be. Anybody?
I don't know.
Anybody speak Latin out there? Give us a okay. All right. Well, since we have no answers, let's just go to a question. What do you say?
I think that's the point of the show. I
Okay,
don't know why
let's-
you've been rambling on for like 9 years.
I know
about
it's so
Fortnite.
weird. The game got its name from the game's Save the World mode, where the original goal was to survive for a fortnight. There you go. They then changed the name to Fortnite. Then Battle Royale with cheese came out. All right.
The Royale, which is that's what I play. I play the Battle Royale, and I want to point out though, even though I'm really bad at the game, I did come in 7th last night on my own in solo mode. So I mainly just hid out in cars and bushes like a little bitch, but it worked. So
I thought solo mode was you get to dress up as Han Solo and no?
I'm sure there's Star Wars skins. I don't
Mhm.
pay attention to that part of the game. I'm more into the technical aspects of really, really learning
We don't
how
mess.
how to use the controller,
Yeah, we're
how
gonna
to
get.
walk forward and also look forward and not at the ground or the sky. This
Well,
is my
give me
goal.
a buzzard for even suggesting that. We don't do skins, okay? Let's answer a question. What do you guys say?
Okay.
All right.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
My husband and I eloped earlier this year. We're going to announce it to our friend. Oops, I misspelled our or friends and family on Labor Day. How should we do it? Asking for a friend. How do you break the news? We're already married.
Well, are they going to be able to have a gathering?
I mean,
Of
they're
the
gonna.
people?
I'm guessing Labor Day. I'm guessing there's going to be some kind of barbecue for Labor Day, and maybe, or get together or whatever. Maybe they're just going to do a Facebook
little
post
barbecue.
on Labor Day. I don't know. Maybe they're going to get one of those airplanes that has the, bzzz, the.
They should just create a registry and then just send it out to everybody.
Not say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like try to shame them and be like, why didn't you guys come to our wedding? You owe us a gift.
Yeah.
And be like, we had a whole wedding. Nobody RSVP'd.
Just play like we understand with the pandemic why you couldn't make it, but here's the registry, in case you were wondering. There you go. Just play it off. Shit.
Yeah, I think they're looking for something that's like fun and cutesy. And I don't know because I've never been married. I don't know
Yeah.
what I think they're trying to get a certain reaction out of the friends and family.
I think they weren't too worried about their friends and family though, because they didn't
eloped.
tell anybody. They just eloped. So is it a baby situation that they eloped, or is it just that they were like madly in love and they eloped and they'll figure it out later? Is their son somebody that wouldn't be accepted by the family? So they did it in secret because it's a Romeo and Juliet situation, and they have to go tell the Capulets.
Wait, she's 13?
Oh no, that couldn't be that. So
Not that part of Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah. How do we tell?
Yeah, I think they probably it was a pandemic decision. They're like, we have nothing else going on. Let's just get married. Without context, we don't get to know that.
Yeah,
But
there is no context. They could be maybe who knows? There's no context. I say you just invite everybody over and then and just start walking around with a bunch of rings with your rings
I
on and
thought
not.
of something really good just now.
What do you got?
Make the Labor Day party a costume party, and everybody's in
Ooh,
costume, and then they show up in bride and groom costumes, right?
that is the winner. What do you guys
I
think?
should always drink on this show.
Yeah, you should be a wedding planner too.
Nah, well,
You're
I
like,
kind of
I've
other people's love's not really for me.
Yeah.
Just
Any,
kidding. That
we
was
got
mean. I'm not.
we got 9 viewers. We got only 3 of them
Ooh.
commenting. So guys,
Yeah.
why don't you ante up and throw us some information, guys? Just say, "Hey, good to
Say
see you."
hey. If you say hey, I will continue this show with Clint like normal.
Yes. So hey, I got.
And if you don't say hey, I will also do that exact same thing I just said I was going to do.
Hey, there we go. We got Jack Frink has
Hi,
a
Jack.
comment. Boom.
Be authentic to who they are, how they usually host a party, and announce it straight. Although Mia's plan is pretty good. That's probably what they're going to end up doing, right? I don't know if this question, like I said, I don't know if it's asking for like we want a really awesome, cool, unique idea, or if they're kind of like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to tell my family.
I mean, I think it would be cool to show up. You could show up like Lydia and Beetlejuice. That's how I would do it. I'm just
That's
saying.
the best thing I've ever heard
Yeah.
in my entire life. And then their family's like, we've never
What?
seen Beetlejuice.
What's
And you're
Beetlejuice?
like, shake, shake, shake some more. Jump in the line.
Tess says, "Hey."
Hi.
All
Hi,
right.
Tess.
Well, let's go to the next question. Boom. Has anyone ever looked into running away and starting over someplace new? I just want to move to another country and change my name and not tell anyone. Asking for a friend. This person went on to say that they've even scoped out a place to buy as their place of residence, and even considering like getting animals and things to on their land, and then was asking what's a good way to make money in another place and all that. And I thought it was really crazy. And
It's not sketchy.
it's not sketchy. They were just like, I just want to get away from, and I want to say what Mia is probably going to say at some point, and it's not communicate, but you should maybe talk to a therapist, because I think
Yeah.
you can't run away from that stuff, because you're going to go to another country and you're still going to be there, and you got some stuff going on
Yeah.
inside, and you need to get to the. If you're just bored, that's okay. You want to go, but going and changing your name and just getting it sounds like you have a bad relationship with your family, and that's rough. But you don't have to go to
Yeah.
another country to do that. You could just go to you
Yeah.
could move to another city and just change your phone number. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, you can also move and
that's what I'm saying.
be supported by people too and say, this is what I really want and really need to do. Okay. Picture this, Clint Baker.
I got you. What you got?
14-year-old Mia. She's a real cool emo chick. She's sad and wants to just run away from it all. And she's telling her therapist how bad she wants to just get away.
Is that how
And
she
her
talks when she's 14?
I don't know how she talked. She was an interesting young lady. But anyway, the point is, my therapist said to me, this angsty young girl, she said, wherever you go, there you are. And you can't run away from yourself. So, yeah, you'll get away from some stuff, but you need to fix yourself first. And then maybe you can get away. And I was like, you are wrong. I'm going to go smoke pot with my friends. And I did that too. But
Yeah.
my point is, you're right. Wherever you go, there you are. And maybe you should talk this through. And why do you want to get away? And are you ever planning on coming back? You're starting
Yeah.
over forever, never, never. Would you be leaving people here that would be upset? Are you not going to tell anyone where you're going? You're changing your name.
Because that's
Eh,
selfish. You're leaving people like wondering if you got abducted. You know what I mean? Like
If
or
you're dead, there probably
yeah,
will be a search party for you, and there'll be cops involved, and then that's very similar to suicide, right? If they don't
yeah.
know what happened to you. That is really kind of dark.
It is. It was really weird. I read this question. I was like, wow, dude, what would make a person do that? And then I also started
Yeah.
thinking. I started thinking about my own life, and I've thought before, like, it might be interesting to move to another city, but I have all of my friends are here, and
Yeah.
like, I love my friends, my family's close by, and so even though it might be interesting to check out other places, I have a lot of connections here that I'm not gonna just leave. But I thought about it. I was like, okay, like I've got my parents not too far from here, my best friends and all that. You have a child, and your parents
Mhm.
and stuff, but if I could, if all of those things weren't there, that would, I'm in a couple of bands. I've got 3 YouTube shows. I can't leave town. No, but
Yeah.
if if it wasn't for all that stuff, but if you could just pretend that stuff didn't exist, where would you want to go? That's my question. Where would you
Well,
want to go? Because I'm curious.
that's an interesting question because I actually will be moving at some point in time. I don't want to stay here forever, and this is not the place for me anymore. I don't know when. I think it'll be a while from now, but New Mexico is like my absolute favorite state. I fell in love with it. I've been all over New Mexico. So if I were going to just move to another city or state here in this country, it'd probably be New Mexico. But then now I have kind of family. Well, I've always had family in New York, but I have other people like that will be moving that direction, and I have cousins there and stuff. So I don't know. I might move that way too if I can afford it. But yeah, for me, that's kind of easy. And it's great to have my friends here, my support system here for my son and this and that. But like, people move,
Yeah.
and I'll do it. But then I'm also going to change my name and move to Moscow, where the mules create this juice out of their udders.
It's delicious.
Mm hmm.
They call
Mm
it
hmm.
they call it vodka milk.
Vodka milk. They just drink it straight from the tap.
Some people, yeah, some people call it ginger milk, but the redheads get offended by that one, so they started calling it vodka milk. But
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
whoa,
Yeah. Where would you go? What would you be
well,
like,
I
okay,
don't know.
you've traveled a good amount.
I've traveled. There, what's funny? It's like there's places that I think like I'd like to live here for 5 years. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
but forever, I don't know. And there's a lot of like I've been fortunate in my bands and stuff to go to Europe and meet
Yeah.
really cool people and say, hey, you know what? I could stay here and have this
Do you do that
network.
when you travel?
Yeah, when I travel, I
That
mean,
no, that's like my first thought when I go somewhere is I'm like sizing it up.
I
If
do,
I could
and like I have these
yeah.
friends that are overseas, and I got my bandmates watching. They know them even better than I do. But I'm like, you know what, man? I fucking love this person, and I
Mhm.
like in both Prague and in Germany and stuff. And it's like where if I had to live here, everyone I've met that's friends with them is cool. I could just stay here and probably kind of ingrain myself into this place and probably be
Yeah.
pretty happy. But there's little things about the place like trying to buy coffee from a coffee machine and accidentally getting hot chocolate that just screws it up. And I said that specifically for Chris Klink who might be listening because I do that every
Hi.
time. But there's just little things that when you come back, it's good to be home. So I don't know. I have a lot of
Yeah.
friends in the United States. I'm not trying to sit here and brag about how many friends I have. I just been fortunate to travel, and I don't know. Part of me would love to live in New York City for like 2
God,
years.
I
2
really
years.
wanna live in Manhattan. I
Yeah,
wanna live
just
Lower East Side Manhattan for like 2 or 3 years.
yep.
What am
Wor-
I gonna do, just drive? No,
Yeah.
because I won't need to drive.
Right now during the apocalypse, I wouldn't want to be there. But like in normal times,
I would go there right now. They're
yeah.
doing things a little better than here.
Yeah, I just wouldn't want to be there. I want to be able to get out and go experience
Go to the burbs.
the
Go to
ci-
the suburbs.
go see shows and go to
Yeah.
plays and do the fun stuff and
Yeah.
experience that for a couple years and then move somewhere else quiet later. I don't know. I've heard there's some cool places springing up around, and I hear a lot of people from Austin moved to Colorado, but I've heard there's some cool spots in Arkansas. I've heard there's some North Carolina and a lot of cool places, but.
Yeah, people are done skis. They're moving. I just realized that you can't even see my mic. I'm gonna move it into the frame so that I look official.
Jonathan Flanders says, I was just watching the May 6th show.
I was
I don't know what that means.
Like on accident instead of this show.
Oh, oops. Did Mia look like one of my bald friends?
That's really sucks because I had some really good content.
Yeah, Jonathan, you're gonna have to
Up
back
until-
it up, and after we're done, and watch
catch up.
the intro. We had a really good, very strong intro. I think we how sometimes they say
you
we
missed
finished.
the whole Fortnite stuff.
Yeah.
You missed all the good stuff already.
Some people say, man, you guys finished strong. We started strong.
We finished weak. We trickled out at the end there.
Jack Frink. I can't.
Fink.
Hold on, Jack. I apologize. Jack Frink says,
God.
"You don't want to move to Arkansas."
Out? Did you bust those out on episodes I was not on?
I did not. These headphones, the headphones interfere with the way that they sit on my head.
Do you remember? Because when we first started the show, I would put on my glasses for the games.
Yes,
and I couldn't put them on.
Yeah,
of the headphone.
it's weird. Yeah, it's a weird thing. I'm gonna have to get a monocle, I think, for the.
Johnson, I'll watch the intro.
Good call.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to the next question.
Was I on that show?
Which one? The monocle?
Oh, May. Did you say May?
May 6th. Yeah. I mean, we've been on. This is episode, guys. We're celebrating episode 25.
Oh my gosh! And let's cheers again to me for my birthday.
Here we go. Ready? Oh, that was good.
I will say though that when I travel, I size it up. I look and I go, could I live here? Do I want to live here? Do I want to stay here? And I do it everywhere. There's several places in Mexico that I 100% would be down to just live in for a little while. There's only one place, and I'm so sorry, I might make some people mad. But I've traveled to a lot of cities in the United States, and the one that I could not stand was Boston.
Yeah.
I did not like it. Now, granted, I was there. The Orange Man got elected while I was there, and then the next day was the only day I had to explore the city. So it was a little different experience, but I wasn't like, let's live in Boston.
I can tell you Boston is fun, and there's a lot of super cool people from Boston. There's some really cool people that you have a night hanging out, drinking beers and talking to these people, and they're like friends for life. Like, they're really cool people. Yeah. But I've also walked around Boston and like me being like Southern hospitality, kind of good morning. You say, hey, good morning, or whatever, and so at a convenience store, and they look at you like you're gonna rob them, and
then they're like, I couldn't find my khakis this morning, and you're like, your car keys, and they're like, no, my khakis.
Yeah, that happened too, and just holding the door open for somebody, they look at you like you're up to something, and it's really funny. I've actually talked to people from Boston that have moved here, and they're like, yeah, it took me a little while to get used to this. People are friendly here. It's weird.
Really, I have a friend who says Austin is not a very friendly city at all. Well, I disagree, but well,
you live in South Austin, and I live in Cedar Park, so I think maybe
I am a South Austener. I don't just live here. I am from South Austin. And I don't mean for all you little cuties that are like, south of the river. No, I'm in the deep South. It's its own little ecosystem city.
It's not just a city, it's a way of life. It's a way of life.
It's a way of life. And I'm not bitter about it. I've been watching the same lady walk around up and down Manchac my whole life.
Hey, I delivered pizza off of Brody for 10 years. I'm with you.
You know what I watched recently? I know we're getting way off subject. It's because 'cause I'm a little boozy.
It's all good.
I watched the don't name drop what I'm talking about because we don't need people looking up these videos right now, but I watched the outtakes to a series of YouTube shorts that we recorded
Oh yeah, that was
with
that's forever ago.
I know, but with our friend Lawson, and
Yeah.
there's this really funny outtake where you're like you're a pizza delivery guy and you're
Here's
like,
your
"It's good."
ranch.
Yeah, you're like, "It's gonna hit here," and it, like, splatters completely in a different spot, and it's so funny.
Lawson, I miss that guy. I need to get him onto a YouTube talk one day. He's a funny dude.
He is one of the funniest people I've ever met in my entire life,
Yeah.
and it breaks my heart he stopped doing comedy. He's so good, so
He's
good.
hilarious, and that's half of the stuff going through the outtakes. All the stuff was off the dome. He was just saying stuff,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like he is super funny.
I had one outtake, and it wasn't that good. And I'm hotter now, so don't go looking for it, you guys.
Well, let's go on to another question. The next question is: my girlfriend told me that she doesn't want to have kids. We've talked about it, and then even picked out names, etc. in the past. But now she's changed her mind. I love her, but I don't know if I could continue this. I want children. What should I do? Asking for a friend. This guy has been with her for a little bit, and she wanted kids, or they talked about it for a while, and then all of a sudden she just sprung on him. I don't want to have kids anymore, and now he doesn't know. He's like, I want kids. She doesn't. What do we do? Should I just cut this off now? But I love her, but I want kids, and she doesn't want kids. What do we do?
Oh, Jesus.
This is rough. Yeah, this is rough. And I'm guessing, I was wondering at first, I'm like, is this a physical thing? Like, I don't want to pump kids out of my body and have to go through all that? Or is this like, I just don't want to be around children and be a mom, because that cuts out the adoption thing, but there's
Yeah,
no,
because there's a lot of reasons to not have children these days.
Mhm.
Why would you wanna have children in a world that's a pandemic and
and
global warming and the environment, and it's like there are a lot of mature reasons to not procreate.
and she's 25 and he's 26, to give you a little bit of a
Oh,
backstory.
they're children.
Yeah.
They're
But he
babies.
doesn't want to necessarily invest any more time if this isn't gonna turn
Yeah.
into a family. He needs to make. He's like, you know what? This has been fun, but if I'm not gonna be able to have a family, which is eventually what I want, what am I doing here?
I just burped twice, and I'm very sorry.
No, we didn't hear that.
Um, yeah, you're young. Get out, or not. I don't know. I don't know how to solve such a big issue for
It's
people. I would say counseling would be very helpful to kind of talk through your feelings. Does he know why she feels this way? But also she's very young
yeah,
and they've been together for a couple of years.
yep.
So,
So
and she's 26.
he's 26, she's 25. So to them, I mean, if you think back to being 25, 26, that feels like a long time. When you're together a couple of years, that feels like forever.
Yeah.
But
But they're so young still.
when you have a 9-year-old, you know that a year isn't that big a deal. You know what I mean? Because the time
Yeah.
flies, and you know what I mean. And so it's like, eh, for me, when you're as old as Father Time, like I am, I can look back and I'm like, okay, when I was 25, that was feels like a flash in the pan, but it also feels like an eternity. You know. So
You know what's interesting too, like about this situation is like being that young, like I'm not saying that she knows that she's never going to have children ever. She
yeah,
may eventually. It had interestingly enough, I don't think my dad's watching, but I'll out my dad. He wanted children with his first wife and she didn't want kids. And that was not the only reason why, but one of the bigger reasons why they ended up not working out. And then he met my mom, which is great because I exist now.
yeah.
And more importantly, my son exists. But she ended up having kids with someone else.
One of my best friends.
So
One of my best friends that I don't want to out her. but who was involved in those videos. But she always said, "I'm not having kids. I'm not having kids." Then she got married, and then they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this. This is our plan." And then we'll probably start working on kids. And I'm like, "Whoa!" I didn't say anything, but I was like, "You, as long as I've known you, you've always said no kids." And I'm like, I guess it changes once you get married and you're in and you making a plan and I don't know.
It could change, yeah.
And
But
her husband's
you
got good genes. Maybe it was like, yeah, I've found a good-looking man, a thoroughbred of a man. Actually want to make kids with him. Before I was looking around, I wasn't so hyped, but I found a good one. I'll go ahead and make some kids. I
I
don't know.
need me a baby high. Don't you come back here without a baby. Yeah, it's tough, but I would say, I mean, I would never tell anyone to end their relationship, obviously. That's like insane. But you got to work it out. You got to at least start seeing a counselor to figure it out. And if it's you know, if it's a non-negotiable though,
Yeah, if that's if that's
you
a
exit the
deal
relationship.
breaker for you, you got to start
Yeah.
having the conversation now and say, look,
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting we have a kid tomorrow, but like, real, are you sure about that? Why did you say this? And
Yeah.
and if it turns into some arguments, maybe look for counseling. And
All
if it,
right. So what he should do is poke holes in condoms, mess with her birth control,
yeah,
knock her up, then see how she reacts. If they no, I'm just kidding. Please don't listen to me. That was the darkest thing I've ever said on the
yes,
show. That is a complete joke. It was very crass.
give her,
Don't do.
yeah, morning after pill, vitamin B12s. No,
We should not be saying this.
no, we're
I
being.
brought it up. What's
I
wrong with
know we're being
me?
jackasses. Look, it's a serious thing though. Uh,
If it's a non-negotiable, if it's a bottom line, if it's a boundary, if it's then you will have to exit the relationship, or else it may still continue to go well for a while, and then it won't, and it'll switch to resentment. And
yep.
when your relationship switches to resentment, that's when it ends.
And there's no coming back from that.
There's no coming back from that. So
Once you go from you're supposed to have each other's backs. Once you go into hurting each other,
yeah,
there's no coming back from that. You can't
there's
undo
no
that.
coming back from that.
So let's move on. And guys, for the record, birth control is no joke. So, use birth control, and there you go. All right, moving on.
You also promised me that we were gonna have fun questions.
I know.
tonight.
Okay. All right, here we go. All right, we're getting close to it. Between binge watching and mindlessly scrolling, I feel like I'm missing out on some kind of joy. I also haven't been able to commit to any digital detox. Any suggestions? This is one of the last of the serious
Wait.
questions.
Read that one more time.
This person is basically watching TV, binge watching TV, or on their phone all the time, and they're like, I feel like I'm missing out on some kind of joy, but this is just what my life has become. What do I do? And they said that they haven't been able to commit to any kind of digital detox. In other words, putting their phone away and not watching TV for a while. I think
Can't relate.
Yeah, you got to take a
I'm just kidding.
I honestly, everyone has been during the pandemic with the
Yeah.
when it was real bad, people even scared to leave the house at all. Some
Mhm.
people work out and do other things to get them out of there, but there's a lot of people watching TV. There's a lot of people on their phones all the time. It's just kind of where we're at as a society. But
Yeah.
if you feel like you're missing something, you're actually aware. You need to do something about
Can
it.
you just hold on 1 second, please?
Yeah, yeah. You
Just
need to
kidding.
try and do something like plan something different. If
Okay.
you don't want to do that, then it sounds like you're content doing that. You're just bored.
Yeah, I would say that watching The Social Dilemma is gonna scare you a little bit. It didn't scare me enough. But
That's good, actually.
also yeah. And I'm reading this book right now slowly because my TV watching and Instagram scrolling and then now Fortnite playing is getting in the way of me finishing this book. But it's called Bored and Brilliant. And it actually has in the book, this was a study that was done by somebody who podcasts, and people are actually given tasks. So the very first task that you do is you download this app that actually tracks your like usage. And then and this really only pertains to getting away from your phone, although you could apply it to other stuff. And then I don't know what the second task is because I haven't
Because I
read
haven't
that
read that.
far in the book. But it was pretty successful, and they had some cool data from it. So I would look into reading Bored and Brilliant. It's a short read if you can put down the screens to read it, or maybe listen to it
There you go. Audible.
in Audible, so that way. And for a limited time only, you can get Audible for the regular price because we're not sponsored by anyone.
That's right. And this day and age, this is just kind of where a lot of people are at. But if if it's really bothering you, you should try and do something about it. At least maybe plan a time of the day that you do, like, this is the time of the day where I work out, or this is the time of the day that I write, or this is the time of the day that I walk my dog, or something where
Yeah,
that's all about something else. And I
it's
think
hard.
that'll give you enough time because it consumes, it distracts you. But if you break away from that, that gives you some time to think and daydream and get your
Yeah.
mind on other things. And sometimes you need that, you know?
Well, that's kind
So,
of the premise of the book, Bored and Brilliant, is that it's not just about like these tasks to get away from your phone. It is actually about what happens to your mind when it's bored.
yeah.
And all of these cool things start coming in because it starts to fill this time with thoughts and ideas and imagination, and that's how you become, I don't know, and it's not always necessarily
It's like
like you're not gonna.
it's like a defense mechanism, like your brain starts thinking of other things because you're bored,
It's not
sort
necessarily a
of.
defense mechanism, but yeah, it is something that kind of just kicks in naturally. And for some people, it ends up being something simple as like spending more quality one-on-one time with your kid.
Right.
For other people who maybe are like creative types, writing or painting or drawing or whatever these things that start to come in. But it makes you almost want to make time for those things when your brain is bored. But what we do is we fill every second with the screen. If we're not watching something, we're scrolling through something on our phone in the waiting room of the doctor's office, on our commute to work, on in any moment we are
Mm-hmm.
filling that time with something, and it's messing with our memories, it's messing with our attention spans and so many other things. And it's kind of crazy.
And on the other hand, we do have a tendency. Now, I genuinely believe that you're onto something, and that you're figuring out that, hey, I'm probably spending too much time doing this. Similar things happen when you're like, hey, I spend too much time drinking, or hey, I spend too much time smoking pot, or hey, I spend too much time eating. Your body tells you, your brain tells you, when you're doing things like this. But also, we live in a time where people just feel unfulfilled. And I think a lot of that is because we don't have to chop wood anymore. We don't have to hunt for food. We don't have to defend the village from
Yeah.
invaders. You know what I mean? Like we have everything at the touch of our finger. Anything we know. Not even looking up information. We don't even have to pull a book out of the library and read through pages.
Yeah.
You can do a Google search and find out the history of information in a second. You don't even have to look it up. You can ask your phone and it'll tell you how old Harrison Ford is. You know what I mean? So it's a weird time. And so, that might be a side effect of just having an easy life, because I feel like not
Yeah.
everyone, but a lot of us have it pretty easy these days. And I don't know. And it's easy to become complacent. But in regards, so good luck, and I would say take a break. So there's some people that take a week off of social media completely. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean you have to give up TV. Maybe just say, hey, I'm going to take a vacation. No TV, no social media. You can maybe take calls from people or whatever, but the rest of the time you read books or something. I don't know. Try that. And I think that would be good for your brain. But in regards
Yeah.
to daydreaming, Mia, segue.
Oh no. What do we have?
How do you guys deal with daydreaming? I could use some tips on getting organized to complete my tasks. I'm falling behind on schedules and tasks. Help, asking for a friend. And the first thing I got to say is, yes.
Was that
That was a Ritalin kids thing. It sounds like you got some ADD, my friend.
that a clip from what was that band you were in?
What, this one? Yes, it sounds like
The
you
Ritalin
have a little
kids?
bit of ADD. That sounds like
That was my first thought. Was like, have you
Yeah.
ever been tested for? Yeah.
I can't focus. I daydream all the time. I have trouble in completing tasks. What you need to do is you need a couple of things. You need to make lists because you will forget. You need to write down all the things that you need to get done and set deadlines for yourself. And you also need to tell people about them or announce whatever things you're doing, even if it's just to your significant other or publicly saying, hey, I'm going to do this weekend or whatever. Once you announce it, there's accountability. It's not just an idea bumbling around in your head. And if you write it down when it's time, when you run out of things to do and it's time to start doing things, you'll be able to look at this list and attack it. And that's a big deal. Yeah. What do you think, Mia?
I agree. And the other thing too about lists is it's not just necessarily writing it down so you won't forget. It's once it's out of your head and it's down, it doesn't have to rattle around in there anymore. That's a tip I've used in school forever. And announcing stuff is great. That helps you be less forgetful. Like, even if it's so simple, like, I'm putting my keys on the kitchen table. That way, when you're going to leave the house later and you cannot find them, you know where they are. But also going through, so there's the Diagnostic Statistics Manual, the DSM, I think the 5 is what we're on, DSM-5. It's what all head doctors and counselors use to diagnose things these days. There's 2 versions of ADHD, and one is hyperactive and one is inattentive. And inattentive is more common amongst like adults these days. And it sounds like this person, if they're not hyperactive, is suffering from inattentive, where they're having a hard time focusing on tasks and getting stuff done because their brain is wandery. And sometimes another good thing, another tool is alarms in your phone or timers, and being like, okay, I'm going to set 30 minutes to complete this task, and you're kind of racing against the clock to get it done. And sometimes it's very helpful to be like, I have to do it in this time limit. And that's really, really, really helpful. What are you doing?
I'm doing a trick that I do where I write down things so that I don't forget what I'm saying because my brain is going a million.
That's a good trick, Clint. Very good.
And so that I let you finish what you were saying. But yeah.
I 100% agree with that. And like, I would never tell anyone, hey, you need meds, but maybe if you get diagnosed, I have friends who have gotten diagnosed with inattentive ADHD as an adult, and they're just like, holy crap, finally it makes sense. And, if you end up on medication, you may find that a lot of these things fall by the wayside and you're able to just kind of kick it. Complete a task for once. I am very wandery in my brain. I think for me, though, it's because I fill all of my empty time with my Instagram scrolling habits.
Another thing too is some of that is procrastination. And procrastination is an interesting thing because you will do other things. At least for me, I will clean the kitchen, I will do laundry, I will just wash all the dishes and do all this, and I know I have a task that needs to get done, and the whole time that I'm doing these other things, I'm planning out subconsciously how I'm going to achieve that task. And then when I finally pull it off, I do it. Sometimes I'm worried about the task. Sometimes it's just I'm planning it out in my head. And sometimes distractions like that, sometimes like keep your place clean, stay on top of all that stuff, because it's hard when you're in a chaotic environment with trash, dishes, and garbage everywhere. It's hard to be functional. So and maybe some of that you're like, I just can't focus, keep doing other things. That's okay. You're supposed to do those things and be thinking about, but write it down and and get it done, man. You'll be okay. And like she said, sometimes medication works. So you just got to see somebody, a doctor, and make sure that you're not just you don't want to go down to the corner
Yeah.
and find the guy with the trench coat on and buy pills off of that guy. It's not a good idea.
Oh wait, you're not supposed to do that?
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
Man, I knew I was doing something wrong.
It looks like we're getting into the fun questions now, guys. So
let's answer some fun questions.
Let's hit the fun. Let's hit the fun, DJ. Well, first, let's hear the Riddling Kids. Man, that is loud. And let's hit
I'm pretty sure I had your poster on my wall as a teenager.
Uh-oh. Fun question alarm. All right, guys, the chat, be sure to chime in now because there's a delay. It takes a minute. What's your worst phobia? Asking for a friend.
You missed an S in that word, and it.
What? I did.
Because of your ADD, Clint.
I just didn't space. That's what I didn't.
No. What is your wart phobia?
Man, that's bad.
What is your wart phobia?
That's my phobia. That wasn't a miss.
What is your worst phobia? Hey, the 6 people that are still watching, give us some chat. Answer that in the chat. What is your worst phobia? Where did you go, Clint?
I'm right here.
I can't see you. I'm on the wart phobia page still.
Oh.
The wartophobia.
The what?
Oh.
You like that?
We threw an S in there, ladies and
wait,
gentlemen.
Hold on.
Uh-oh. What do we got?
Wait for it. Now it's fixed. There we go. All right.
Look at you.
Look
You're like
at
a
you.
Freaking fantastic man. Okay.
What is your worst phobia?
What is my worst phobia?
What is your wart phobia?
You said this was going to be fun.
I mean, it can be.
Okay. I don't really love the idea of like dying.
Yeah, that sucks.
I think it's the ways to die that I have phobias of. I'm not really scared of like paranormal stuff as much as I was like maybe when I was younger.
You were
So
when I had a scary ghost in the house question one time on the show. You were like, Clint, can we not talk about this?
Because I'm yes. I did not enjoy that.
Because
You're right.
because your security team was had the night off that day.
I don't like what my worst phobia. I don't know if I have like some people have a very specific, like my mom, she'd very easily be like, it's snakes. I'm so scared of snakes. But
My
for
mom's
me,
is spiders.
My mom told me recently this story where we were in a pet store and the guy brought a snake out, and I must have been like 14 or 15 years old. And I don't know why I like this story so much. I was just like sticking up for my mom, and the guy brings the snake towards her, and I told the guy, I said, she has a fear of snakes. Can you get that snake away from her? And he thought it was funny to like bring it closer to her. And I like yelled at the guy.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, get that away from my mom. And like grabbed her hand and rushed her out of the store something.
Ran out of the store.
Heroic like that.
Like Thelma and Louise. Like,
Natchet has a comment.
I know.
Phil has a comment.
Are you saying that because I said Thelma and Louise? You didn't appreciate that?
I appreciated it. What's the long, uncomfortable silence?
I hit the button, nothing happened. Hypodermic needles. I suffer from
vasovagal syncope. It means he faints when he gets his blood drawn.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. Who said that? Phil?
Punk Rock Phil.
Punk Rock Phil, listen, you might have heard me say this on an earlier episode, but I do not understand grown men with fear of needles. It's time to work through that one and live your life.
Phil's got a scar. He's not afraid of anything. He's got like Tomax and Zaymont. He just
told me he faints when he gets his blood drawn.
He doesn't faint when you cut his face. He's like, what you want to do the other side? I got nothing better to do. Let's do this. Let's party.
That's psychological, Phil. You can work through it. I have faith in you.
That's right.
Natchet, what's
He
yours?
says
Trypophobia. Is that the little
Ew.
holes? Is
What
that
is
what I'm thinking of? I think it's the fear of
holes?
holes. Is that right? Natchet?
Natchet, a fear of holes?
Do you know what triskaidekaphobia is?
No. A fear of no.
Fear of the number 13, which is the opposite for me.
Oh.
Are you taking notes?
I was gonna. What is
Yeah, I was right.
trypophobia?
Natchet. It is. It's like little it's holes.
Fear of holes. I guess.
Yeah. So if you Google that word, you'll see a bunch of pictures of examples for
I
you
don't
to
want.
like
Is it?
grasp. It's. I don't have a problem with it, but
Is
I
it?
don't know
Does that
you.
cave that says like free hugs inside with the hole in the like it's a
No,
cave? Does
it's
that
more
freak
like
you out?
it's like multiple holes in one thing. It could be in a person's body or skin or in made up weird. It's weird. It's very
Like
weird. It's
like the Sarlacc
interesting.
pit? Is it the Sarlacc pit that's got you all sketched
I
out?
don't know what
That's
that is.
that's from Return of the Jedi when it's a big hole in the ground. It looks like a giant ant pile with teeth, basically ant hole with teeth.
That's like one hole though, right?
By the way, tattoo needles, Phil says, tattoo needles are different. It's very specific. Also, there's no just get over it. It happens also with IVs. Yeah, IVs freak me out. I'm the
Yeah.
same. I'm with you, Phil. I just got my blood tested the other day, and I'm like, oh, great. I look away. I'm like, and I don't faint, but I don't like it.
I totally get there's no just get over it. I understand that. And I will say I had a similar kind of fear of things before I was medically trained. And now nothing. Well, that's not true. I don't like mouth stuff.
Mhm.
I don't like medical mouth stuff. Hi, mom.
I don't like
I
mouth stuff, man. What?
No, I've been scrubbed into many surgeries, very crazy, extensive stuff. I've seen all of the gross things you could possibly think of in medical. I do not like picking food out of a jaw that's wired shut. That really just ugh.
I talked to a physical therapist, and he was it's a buddy of mine, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't do." He's like, "There's certain physical therapy stuff that you do with jaws and different things
Manipulations
where you
and
have to
stuff.
go into their mouth." And he's like, "I don't take those people." I say, "No, I don't do that."
Yeah.
He's like,
It's
he's got a
weird.
phobia."
I don't like ortho stuff either. I don't like cracking bones and popping stuff back into
Ew.
place and broken. Yeah, but I think my fear, like if I were to hold on to one thing, which I've worked through with therapy for years, would be flying. And I just kind of,
You don't like
I don't
flying?
know. I love flying. I absolutely love flying because it gets me to cool destinations. But I've had a fear of flying because I spent my entire life growing up traveling by car, like cross country, with a grandmother who was like, I don't fly. She never said I'm super scared of it,
Right.
but she did say I don't do it. And it just kind of put it in my head. And so I don't love it. And I can get on planes now and I can work through it. I'm never just like, this is nothing. I always still have feelings about it, but I used to get like food poisoning like symptoms like 24 hours before I had to fly. Now I don't get that, but I do still not enjoy the time.
I've done a lot of flying, doing band stuff and all, and I've been on some flights that would scare the crap out of you,
I've had
like little puddle
horrible
jumpers and stuff where
experiences.
you fall out of the sky and
It like just drops.
yeah, I
Yeah.
had my laptop one time and it just went. It like went up and then came back down because we dropped so suddenly. It was crazy. Okay,
Yeah.
in regards to the needle thing, what's funny is your inside your arm is a very it's a vulnerable spot. If
I
like
hate
here
IV
on the
placement
neck,
there.
that's a vulnerable spot. I've had shots. You could hit me with a needle this long in the shoulder, and I wouldn't flinch. Like I'd be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's gonna suck." But the idea of the inside, or like if they were gonna stick a needle in there, oh my god, that's just like a sensitive area. That's I think what freaks people out that have a fear of drawing blood. It's the sensitive spot.
I
Yeah.
think it's cool. I always watch them
Ugh.
draw my blood because I'm curious to see like the viscosity of it.
Ew. All right, let's
Because
move
I'm
on.
weird.
More fun stuff. Here we go. Instead of doves, what other animal would you want to see released at a wedding? Asking for a friend.
Jaguars.
Tarantulas.
Jaguars.
Yeah.
I think that we're supposed to not release animals at a wedding anymore.
Is that a thing? Or do we supposed to throw rice?
You're not supposed to throw rice because it's bad for birds.
Okay,
You're not supposed to throw confetti because it's bad for the environment.
what about bubbles? Do blowing bubbles hurt the environment?
No, that's fine.
You
Okay,
don't-
like if
you
you
don't
were
want
in
Dawn.
like a
We don't want Dawn cutting grease out of the yard. You know.
if you were like in a place where butterflies were endangered, I would say like release butterflies. But otherwise, why are
Yes,
we
Phil.
bringing animals? Why are we bringing animals into your matrimonious times?
Bats. I'm with you, Phil. We got plenty of bats. It's all good.
Yeah.
We're in Austin. We got a lot of bats. I think
Kittens.
everybody. You should have like a Transylvanian, like a
Ooh, like in a
Nosferatu.
castle?
Yeah, Nosferatu themed wedding, and just release bats. I think that would be super
Straight.
badass.
Yeah.
And good old Natchet says wolf puppies. So
Ow, ow, ow.
yeah, I think
Did anyone howl with me?
I guarantee you, Natch is howling right now. He's on a rock at the top of a peak, and he's
How about
howling at the moon.
fire ants? I'm just
Fire
kidding.
ants is good,
I had a good one, but I just totally forgot.
and we're gonna go back to fire ants in a minute.
What are we gonna release at a wedding? Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. I went to a wedding. My cousin got married a long time ago, and it was a Hawaiian theme. So they put Chinese fish on the table. They had betta fish, which aren't Hawaiian, but they had betta fish in bowls on all of the tables. There were like 8 of them. Well, there's probably more than 8 of them. But at the end of the night, I was like, what are you going to do with all those fish? And my aunt was like, do you want them? And I'm like, okay. This is like my dad's side of the family, right? So I come home to my mother's home with, I already had one betta fish named Bubbles, Buble. And I came home with 8 like fish bowls full of fish.
That's awesome. Did you put
And
them all close to each other so they could talk to each other?
No, they fight. You can't put them together. So my mom, she just so go with the flow though. She was just kind of like, all right. And we just had betta fish bowls all over the house for a very long time. And let
That's
me tell
funny.
you, those things are hardy. You can neglect them. Unfortunately, they aren't happy, but they'll live. PETA's gonna flag this video.
Yeah. Let's go on to the next one before they do. What's something that looks good but tastes terrible? Beets. I'm calling beets. Beets look like cranberry sauce, kind of. And I like cranberry sauce, but I don't like beets.
What's something that looks good but tastes terrible?
Don't ask me. This was on Ask Reddit, and I was like, I'm gonna look for some fun questions to put at
All
the
of my
end.
exes.
Oh, hey-oh! Sushi? That's a good answer, Tess.
Thank you, Tess. Sushi's the worst. I used to love it, but then I got sick. But I agree. It can look very appetizing and taste very bad. I don't
love
like
sushi.
it. Not for me. Not for me. I don't know. It's hard for me to answer that because I only want to eat the things that look good.
Yes.
Like,
Well, that's the thing. What thing that looks good that you want to eat, when you actually eat it, it's not good.
like
kombucha. Kombucha looks refreshing and it tastes like buttholes. It's nasty. Kombucha is gross.
kombucha tastes like buttholes?
It like tastes like fermented something. It's like you left a.
There
It's
are
like
flavored kombuchas that are good though.
Yeah, no, it's like you left Hawaiian Punch in your car for 3 weeks and then accidentally took a drink out of the bottle.
For me, it would be like when you are expecting fruit that looks really juicy, you bite into it and it's not, or it's mealy. Like I had peaches the other day. I love peaches. They're my favorite thing ever. And they're like, I bit into the peach and it was this mealy texture that was just so not what I wanted in my mouth.
I don't like mealy. Mealy is a word like moist that people don't like. I don't like mealy. Mealy's
I
not
don't
good.
like mealy either. Tess
Slap.
said cantaloupe.
Slap.
I love cantaloupe, but it can be not good too. You're right. I'm a big fruit. I'm just a little fruit bat.
Wow. Why do melons have large weddings?
Why?
Because they can't elope.
Oh, I have one too. What was it? Oh, my aunt used to say, "I can't elope tonight. I have a headache."
Oh boy.
That one's bad. She also would say she has freckles on her butt. She is nice.
My dad used to say she has freckles on her butt. She is pretty. He would say
Where
that.
did that come from?
I don't know, but he would sing it like it was a song, like that was his
Okay,
thing.
because my aunt would sing that song too, so I'm pretty sure they are from the same generation. Baby boomers? Yeah, they're
Yeah.
boomers.
My dad was born in 1939. Phil Davis says a lot of people hate papaya, but I love it.
I don't like papaya.
I used to have a papaya tree when I was 5 years old.
Donuts.
Donuts are
I
delicious.
always regret eating a donut. Not all types, but like a glazed Krispy Kreme. For some reason, it always looks good, and then once I eat it, I don't. There's a certain flavor to those types of donuts I'm not into.
Hit you later.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the
Oh
next.
wait, I have one more.
What do you got?
Green tea ice cream.
That's gross. I've never had that.
It was so bad. I
Is it
thought it was going to be so good.
Is it caffeinated at least?
Probably, yeah. If it has real green tea in it.
Yeah, if it's green tea flavored ice cream, that's a real fail because you don't
Taking everything in my power to not say the one thing I want to say so badly to this question.
Don't say it because I have another good one. What
It's really
beverage?
hard.
What beverage do you drink more than water? Asking for a friend.
Same answer to this question.
Is it beer?
It's not beer.
Phil, what is your answer to this question? Is it coffee? Is it
for me it's coffee
perfect
or
Patron
tea.
margaritas? Is it Hefeweizen? Is it coffee or tea? I drink a lot of iced tea. Lots.
For me it's coffee or tea. I just have the 1 cup in the morning, but then I drink water literally all day. And I don't really do much else. So, Tess says yerba mate.
Tess Andrews says yerba mate.
Yerba mate. Doesn't it sound like an insult?
Yeah, I'm like, bleh. I don't like kombucha. I'm coming out and saying it.
Yerba mate, bro.
Whatever, yerba mate.
Your mom goes to college.
Anything but wire.
Water. Phil, drink water.
Yes.
You need some water.
Like from the toilet?
We do pee and poop in clean water, so that would be fine.
I drink Rondo. It's what plants crave.
Rondo.
It's got electrolytes. All right.
That's
from Idiocracy. Yeah.
That's where we're heading. We're heading to the Idiocracy world. Oh.
All right.
I finished my Moscow meal.
It's like tea, bro. Yerba mate is yerba mate. Oh, I thought it was like kombucha that tastes like fermented stuff. That's what I thought.
Man, do you remember when we had 11 viewers?
I know. Back in the day, we've here. We got to get some interesting topics. Get the viewage back up. You ready?
Okay. Well, we are running very far behind, so.
If every insect became the size of a horse, which one would be the most dangerous? Asking for a friend.
Ooh.
And that's why I said we're coming back to fire ants, because fire ants are
Fire ants?
are strong fire ants are strong, so they would be fierce. A mosquito.
Anything with a stinger.
Mosquito. Oh God, I didn't even think about that. I just got stung by a hornet yesterday. Son of a bitch. But
Where did it sting you?
right here.
Mm.
Yeah.
I
But
told it to do that.
yeah, thanks. A
You're
fire ant
welcome.
would be pretty brutal. Mosquito.
Fire ants, yeah.
A mosquito the size of a horse. Holy smokes.
Tess says scorpion. Yeah, anything with a stinger
Yeah,
coming out of its butt.
and I'm just gonna go out there and say we're talking bugs in general. Don't be a nerd and be like, technically an insect is 3 segments: a head, thorax, and an abdomen, and that a scorpion is an arachnid. We don't want to hear that. We're just talking about bugs.
Yeah.
We said insect. We're talking about bugs.
Bugs in general. Ticks, you're right. Rocky Mountain spotted fever, Lyme disease.
Yeah,
a lot
ticks.
of things come from ticks.
Rocky Mountain oyster spotted fever.
No oyster in there.
Rocky Mountain oysters. Mega Lyme disease. That's right. Can
Lyme
you
disease,
imagine a giant? And how about a flea? A flea the size of a horse? Can you imagine
Ew.
how high could that thing jump? Like that would be badass. Because a flea is like you at it, like gone instantly.
God, I hate fleas. But also, like, then the annoying bugs that are harmless would just be so much more annoying, like freaking flies.
Or what about the what about the one that looks like it's like half ant, half like centipede or something? There's some weird looking like it'll
Can you
have
imagine a centipede the size of a horse?
No. Oh God, dude. My mom's got at her house out in the country. There's some centipedes that are like this big. They're gross. They're
Are
like
you sure they're not millipedes?
No, they're huge and they're black. They don't look like roly-polies that are long. They're like flatter and look like an armored something.
What's the difference between a centipede and a millipede?
Millipede looks more like a roly-poly that is super long.
You know the answer to that?
Yeah. A centipede looks like it's weird and it's got like it looks like it's an armored creature with sharp yellow legs. It's gross.
This question is not fun. I
thought it was fun. I thought it would be fun.
No, it is very fun, but it's terrifying.
Well, it got us down to 4 viewers, so I guess it wasn't that good. Let's move on. What are some things that you notice in movies that are total bullshit in real life? I had this conversation with Punk Rock Phil, and he said Texas redhead centipede. Look it up; it's super creepy and deadly. But yeah, what are some things? And I'm gonna go out and say it every time a police officer's or a detective in a show's partner gets hurt or ends up in the hospital or gets killed or something, and then they go to the bar. They're like, my partner's in the hospital, and then the bartender's like, here you go, Joe, and puts a bottle of whiskey on the bar and gives him a glass, and he just starts pouring his own booze. That never happens.
That first of all, that's very illegal.
Yeah, illegal. That doesn't happen.
My big one, other than almost every romantic scenario, and I could just do a whole show based on that because I just watched a movie that very much made me mad. My big one, and because I'm in the birth community, is water breaks. Let's go to the hospital immediately. This baby's coming right now in every single movie.
Yeah.
And that is just not the way it goes in real life. The water breaks, and sometimes labor doesn't even start for 24 hours afterwards.
Oh, wow.
And the water breaking in a big splash like that, while yes, does happen, isn't very common. Not as common as you think. Usually it breaks in a small spot higher up via a baby fingernail or toenail, and you have a small trickle for a while. But that big just like gush, that's what is the start of labor. No, not even close to accurate.
Another one that gets me, and again, I had this conversation with Punk Rock Phil the other day, is when they're like breaking into some place and they're hacking. They got their hacker member of the team. They're like, he's like, hold on, I almost got through the firewall. And that's like the only technical term, like on any show, as long as they say firewall, which is like, that's like complete bullshit. That's just like the word that they throw on there so that they're like, yeah, He's a hacker. He's got to get through the firewall so he can hack into the system and turn off the alarm. They just say firewall, and you'll just watch next time you watch a show like
A
that.
lot of the firewall's getting thrown around a lot.
There's a lot of firewalls. That's like the key word, like that all writers that don't know about computers just write that into their scripts.
Yeah. And one of those movies where like dogs talk, how dumb is that?
Yeah, that's super dumb. Tess says, in the back of a person driving a car.
The scene in the back of a person driving a car? Expand on that, please.
People don't drive cars. That is total fiction.
She also says rain, fun fact, anytime you see rain on TV, it's water mixed with milk, so the camera picks it up. Otherwise, you wouldn't see it.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, and they have a lot of different ways to spray water for it to look like rain, depending on the budget.
I've heard in like cereal commercials that they pour like Elmer's glue onto cereal so that it looks, because
There's a lot of things like that they do for filming foods for like fast food and other restaurants and stuff, that it's not even food that you're seeing in the
Anytime you see a Arby's or Wendy's commercial, that's not the real food. Like
we have the meats though. They do have the meats. I do know someone who reviewed Arby's.
Oh, cool.
He may be watching this show, but I don't know. If you want to look for Arby's reviews on YouTube, it might pop up.
Cool.
It's a lot of meat. It's a lot of meat for one mouth. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. I mean, I like putting meat in my mouth just as much as the next guy. And Arby's is, they got a lot of meat.
So you get to say it. I've been just waiting to say it, and then you just come on out with it.
What's a kind of food? Well, he's a cop, so I'm sure they care about the legality. He's talking about the whiskey on the table.
Oh, right.
And then Tess, of course, said, fun fact, anytime you see rain on TV, it's mixed with milk, like you said. So we got that one. Yeah. And then, well, let's move on to the next thing, because we only got a couple more topics. We'll just zoom through these.
Okay.
What are some little things that make you happy, Mia? What are some little things that make you happy?
Little things. Well, just kind of in life in general, I've been practicing gratitude a whole lot more lately.
Cool.
And what does practicing gratitude mean? It's really just a thought about the things I'm grateful for. Like, I'm currently having to quarantine because of a potential exposure to COVID, and I live a life that allows me to literally just be home right now. And I have the support system to be watching my son away from my home right now. And I've been just like home and cooking delicious food for myself. And I just like all of these things, maybe they're not even little things. Maybe these are huge things, but it's just like counting my blessings. Blessings is a word I don't use very often. But just, these things that make me very, very, very happy and grateful for my lot in life. I was talking to my dad earlier. I've never had to flee. I'm not an Afghani woman. I've never had to flee anything ever. And even when I've been at my brokest, barely scraping by to pay my bills, I've still had it better than so many people in this world. And that is like something that I'm just exponentially grateful for. Maybe these aren't little things, but I will say that like, the food I've made lately is little and it's delicious.
Well, it's good. It's good to appreciate where you are in life and in the world. You know what I mean? Because you're definitely right. A lot of people don't have it as good as we most of us have it. Tess says glitter.
Yes, we know you're obsessed with glitter.
Because she likes glitter. Yes, I like cheeseburgers.
Oh, I know. Cheeseburgers are good. I haven't had a burger in a while because I'm not leaving my house, but I think I might go get one tomorrow.
Cheeseburgers are delicious. DoorDash.
Fun fact about Tess, I know this lady personally, and one time I had a Friendsgiving event at my house, and I assigned her a couple of dishes to make because I didn't want to take on making everything. And she stopped at a cake shop on the way to my house and bought a cake, and they had edible glitter, and she bought edible glitter, so the mashed potatoes and the macaroni and cheese were both coated in edible glitter for the Friendsgiving party. That's a Tess move.
Wow.
That's why I love you.
One time we in Germany had a birthday party for our buddy Dylan, and a drunk girl came in and threw glitter all over all of the food, and we ate the food with the glitter. It wasn't
Was it
edible.
real glitter
It
or
was
edible
it
glitter?
was real glitter, but we just ate it.
So you're like patient zero with the microplastics.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also have a greater than 2,500 antibody count. So there you go.
I've heard that. I had a friend who wanted to have a cascarone fight in my car. So I had like just confetti covering my car. And then like every once in a while you'd like adjust like an air vent like 6 months later and some confetti would
Yeah.
fly out at your face.
That's the
That
way.
was when I was a teenager and I didn't care about my vehicle. Like it was fun.
Hold on. Best, and she corrected it at the bottom. So best mashed poop I ever did have.
No, best mashed
I'm
potatoes I ever did have. Poop.
Popped glitter for days. Best mashed poop I ever had. Popped glitter for a week. That's crazy, Tess.
That's not the correction.
She put the correction at the bottom.
She pooped glitter.
I thought it was mashed potatoes, but she put a correction. So there we go. Next. Okay, this is the last question of the night.
Is this
gang.
our last question? This
Last
is a long
question.
show.
I know, but we're hanging out. You know.
We be kicking it.
You
Who
now-
else? Who's still in the chat? There's 4 people in the chat. If all 4 of you say hi right now, the first person that pops up, I'll give you a present.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, go.
Clint, you're fired. By the way, it says
Nobody's
Tess.
saying hi in the chat.
Yeah,
Nobody wants
there's a
present.
delay. There is a delay, so it takes a second. It's about a 20-second delay. You now have a powerful laser. What message do you write on the moon with it?
What?
That's the question. Yeah, Tess wins, by the way. Gotta put Tess wins.
Why would I write a message?
You have a powerful laser. You get to write a message to the world on the moon. What's your message? And this is for
Why
all.
would
This
I
is
write
for
a message on the moon if I had a powerful laser?
because you're actually able to engrave on the moon from here because the laser's
I want
so powerful.
sharks with lasers.
I mean, yeah, I think you don't want that laser because that would probably hurt somebody. But
Sharks with lasers?
Sharks with Lasers is a good. Sounds like a band name.
We were texting band names. We should read some of those. Those were pretty
Sharks with Lasers is pretty good.
good. Okay, if I was gonna write a message on the moon with my laser,
And this is for all time. You know, I mean, like
it never goes away.
no, it's engraved up there forever. So,
What if you like messed up your handwriting or something?
but then it's too. I mean, you could probably engrave a correction.
You could just cross it out with one line, the professional one line.
Yeah, exactly.
What would I write on the moon? I would draw a giant cock.
I think that is the perfect answer.
What else would I do?
And in the future, they wouldn't know. Maybe they'd be like, well, that was back in ancient times, ancient Rome and stuff. That was a symbol of strength and virility. Like they're like. I went to Pompeii. They were everywhere. They were on every wall had one. So I think that's an excellent answer.
I saw this T-shirt at a museum that said, "The floor is lava," said everyone in Pompeii ever. And it made me laugh very hard. And I was there alone, so I'm just staring at this shirt laughing for like a minute straight alone. And it was a good day. It was a very good day.
All right. Well, let's see. I don't believe in graffiti, but hi, how are you? That's a good one.
If you're gonna put Daniel Johnston up on the moon, Phil, I mean, you're pretty awesome. Thank you for that. Rest in peace, bud. Rest in peace. Tess said Epstein did not kill himself.
Heyo.
I mean, does it really matter though?
Yeah, I mean, for all time.
For all time, that would be a weird message. I think about what was sent. The Voyager, is that what was sent out?
Yes.
Carl Sagan. The record that has all the stuff on it.
Oh yeah.
That we just launched into space thinking that was our mindset back then. We were like, let's just put stuff on this record. Someone will find it out there
Yeah.
and listen to it, and then what? Make contact? There were like sounds of babies crying. I think people counting to 10 in different languages or saying hi in different languages. It was just very, very interesting. So you're putting one message on the moon for all of eternity, and you're going to put Epstein did not kill himself?
Yeah. That's kind of why I prefaced it that way. I was
It's like a conspiracy now, but it
Yeah.
won't be forever. I would say, yeah, big old dick pic. What else are you gonna want to see in 25 years?
We'll give you a for that
I didn't
one.
say communication once. Thank you. I gotta go get another drink.
All right. Well, you want to call it? Are we calling it? Here,
Do we have another question?
No, I have no more questions, but I do have a guys. If you're in a rough place, suicide hotline. Call these guys 1-800-273-TALK. There's no shame in searching for help, and if things are looking bleak, talk to somebody. If you're like, I don't know, man, I don't know if it's that serious, but I still need to call these guys. They'll get you in touch with somebody. But the important thing is that you make the first move and do something to help yourself out. And if you didn't need it, you wouldn't be thinking about it. So just
agree.
Just do it. So there you go. And guys, be sure to like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell, and let your friends know about the show. Every time you share the show and somebody else comes in, it helps us grow. And
It helps us buy that laser for the moon.
That's right. And before you know it, we'll be doing the show 8 days a week. We'll be rich, and we'll be doing
8 days a week. Mia's gonna go sing some karaoke now.
Woohoo!
To myself alone at home.
Guys, well, everybody in the chat, thanks for hanging out with us. Again, special shout out and cheers to Mia for her birthday. And
Thank you.
And just
I'm finally older than I was before.
And just so I get an extra 4 cents. Yeah, there you go. Every Thursday, 8 o'clock, come check us out, and hopefully we see you guys again soon. And you can find me on my other show on Tuesday nights called Versus, and where I hang out with Curtis and Dustin, and we talk about movies and stuff. So come check us out there, and you can catch me tomorrow evening on Small Screen Co. with Edward Lauder and that James guy. So busy times. If you're not friends with Mia or me or answering for a friend on Instagram, go look us up. Friend us on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter at the OG Clint Baker on Twitter, and of course, you're probably already friends with us on Facebook. If you're not, hit us up. We're on all the socials. So you guys have a great night. Mia, happy birthday! I love you, girl.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Yeah.